Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abayim. Welcome everyone. We're continuing Mishnah Daf Hashua. We started Kuf Yud Daled yesterday. Let's see again. Din Haskaras Haruach v'Geshem v'Tal. The mentioning of wind, rain, and dew. Maschil Loimer b'Bracha Shniya Mashvrach Mar Hagashem b'Tfilas Musaf Shel Yom Tov Ha'achroin Shel Chag. We begin saying Mashvrach Mar Hagashem in the Tfilah of Musaf of the last day of Sukkot. So in Poskin Ad Tfilas Musaf Shel Yom Tov Harishon Shel Pesach. We don't stop until Musaf of the first day of Pesach. We pointed out Mishnah Berurah and Sivkat and Aleph seems to give a different reason than the Gemara does. Rain brings life to the world like the resurrection of the dead. B'tfilas Musaf. It would be fitting to start to appease Hashem on the first day of Sukkot that we're judged on water. Ella, Lefisha. In other words, why do we start Musaf on the last day of Sukkot? We should start right away. We're being judged on water. Lefisha Hagashem him sim klala. Since rain is a bad sign, it's impossible to sit in the sukkah when it's raining. So in Maskirin Hagashem Adavar Shivas Yimei Shivas we don't mention rain until the 7 days of singing the sukkah are over. Really, we should start immediately Shmini Atzeres, in the nighttime, right? Really, logically, you should start in the nighttime. The problem is not everybody comes to shul from Arav. Then it will come out, some people will mention, some people won't. So you'll ask, why will some people mention, some people won't? Everyone will mention. Wherever they daven, everyone will mention. L'chayr, it's because you don't start mentioning until they announce it. So if you're not there in shul, you didn't hear the announcement. So if you didn't hear the announcement, you don't start. You can't start. You can't start. What about it? Saying Talamato, you don't need an announcement. Haruach, you need an announcement. So if you need an announcement, you can have some people saying it, some people not. Now, V'lama ein mazkirin b'shachris, yesha kasvu mibnei she'asur lahazgir hageshem ad sheyachris asher tzibur oy hashamash b'kol mered hagashem. Why don't we mention it in Shachris? Well, we can't mention Geshem until you're not to say Geshem until the Sheil Tzibur announces it, or the Shamish announces it out loud. Mered Hageshem koydem atfilo kil kamei v'zeh yefshar lahachris b'shachris. You can't announce it by Shachris. And they should tzarach lisma gulo tefila v'oy tamacher ay mitas. Like we just said, that to say Mashvrach Mered Hageshem, you need an announcement. So by Mariv, not everyone's going to hear the announcement. By Shachris, you can't make the announcement. V'im tav v'hizker Mashvrach Mered Hageshem b'Mariv sheshmini atzeres or b'Shachris ein chazer. If you mistakenly said Mashvrach Mered Hageshem by Mariv or by Shachris, you don't go back. Ad Tfilas Musaf hatam de'in poisken mi ba'erev hu gam ken kanal. Meaning, why do we say it until Musaf on the first day of Pesach? The reason is we don't stop in the nighttime for the same reason, because not everyone's going to get the memo. Shol yehei davar ma'orav beineim shema mazker shezeh mazker v'zeh eino mazker. Aval ata shepoiskim b'musaf yedu hakol al yidei ashliach tzibur oy hashamish shemachres koydem tfilas musaf mered hatal. But now everyone's going to go to shul and they're going to hear the chazan or the shamish say mered hatal shehachrazas haskaras hatal, saying tal siman hu lahem la'afsakas haskaras hageshem oid. That's a siman to stop saying Mashvrach Mered Hageshem. V'zehu l'minhag Sfarad. That's if you're of Sephardic origin and you say mered hatal. Shenagin loimer mered hatal b'makom mered hageshem esachama. Aval b'dina seinu in our countries shenagin loimer mered hatal. They don't say mered hatal during the summer. And they can't announce it in this lashon. Ulahachriz lahedya sheyifsiku miloymer Marid Hagashem gam kenei nachain. And so in other words, Ashkenazim have a problem. The problem is we don't say Marid Hatal. So what's the Chazan going to announce before the Shemana Esrei on Musaf of the first day of Pesach? They're going to say Marid Hatal. No, we don't say Marid Hatal. He's going to say, don't say Mashiv Marid Hagashem. You can't announce, don't say Mashiv Marid Hagashem. Eno nachain, why? Saying, don't say Mashiach Hagashem is like you're refusing abundant goodness. Al kain pasuk Ramah b'sif gimel. Shenoigin shaloi lahafsik milhasker geshem ad tfilas hamincha. That's why Minog Ashkenaz is we do say Mashiach Hagashem on the first day of Pesach in the Chazan's repetition. Sheshamu kvar mishel tzibur. They already heard from the shel tzibur shapasak betfilas musaf that they stopped saying by musaf. Aval betfilas musaf, but in tfilas musaf kol hakol v'gam shel tzibur mazkirin hageshem betfilas lachash. But in musaf the whole tzibur and even the Chazan will mention Mashiach Marid Hagashem in the tfilas lachash kedei shelo yeh davar ma'orav bein hatzibur, so that it's not a davar ma'orav bein hatzibur. So I'd ask the following question. Think about what they do in Minog Ashkenaz. According to Minog Ashkenaz, the tzibur is going to say Mashiach Hagashem in the Stal and Shon Esrei. The Chazan is going to say Mashiach Hagashem in the Stal and Shon Esrei. Then the Chazan will not say it in the repetition. How could he do that? Isn't the purpose of saying the silent Shemana Esrei to prepare him to be fluent in the Chazar Sashatz? So here, he's basically setting himself up for disaster. He's saying in the San Shemana Esrei Mashiach Maggid Harakiah, and if he says it in the Chazan's repetition, they're going to throw tomatoes at him and he'll have to daven again. But it sounds like, what's the alternative? There's no alternative over here. What's he supposed to do? He's going to not say it, but then he's going to be doing different than the tzibur. It sounds like that is given primacy. Being the shots being uniform with the tzibur will be more important than the shots saying a silent Shemana Esrei to adequately prepare him for his Chazar Sashatz. Normally we say, unless there's a shaila. Let's say you daven one nusach and the tzibur davens, and let's say you daven Ashkenaz and the tzibur is davening Sfard. And so you could daven your own nusach for Shemana Esrei. Let's say you're the Chazan. So many places can say, if you're the Chazan, you need to daven in your silent Shemana Esrei the nusach of the tzibur, because the whole purpose is you need to prepare yourself to say the Chazar Sashat. So other places can say, well, if you have a siddur, we're not afraid you're gonna. So here also, it sounds like but what about those places who say you're not allowed to daven your own nusach because you have to prepare for the tzibur? Apparently here we have no alternative. Okay.
Maybe that's why in Eretz Yisrael they daven Tal and Geshem before Shemana Esrei.
Right. To avoid this problem, why doesn't anybody ask this issue here? If someone made a mistake in Marav on Pesach or Shachris or Musaf, and he already started not to mention it earlier, according to everyone, he doesn't go back. Okay.
What is a person who davens Sfard on the first day of Pesach? By that, or vice versa, maybe it would be another question.
Someone who davens Sfard and Ashkenaz minion, so he ordinarily would say Marid Hatal,
right.
But now that Tzibur is saying Mashiach Maggid Harakiah, he would have to say Mashiach Maggid Harakiah, because you could only start Marid Hatal if it's announced, but since it wasn't announced, he can't say it.
Vice versa, I guess would be the question. Would a person, an Ashkenaz person davening Sfard, maybe stop saying Mashiach Haruach?
Yes.
Marid Hatal.
Yes. Since they announced Marid Hatal, therefore he no longer says Mashiach Maggid Harakiah, even though he's not saying Marid Hatal. I mean, both of these are very, very common. In other words, basically you need to wait for a signal. Why and by the way, it's usher. It's usher to switch until there's a hachraza. There's a halacha. We're going to see in Seif Beis. There's a halacha. You need a hachraza when it comes to Haruach Hagashem. Now let's see Seif Beis. Asur lahazgir Hagashem ad sheyachros hashel tzibur. You're not allowed to mention rain until the Shatz says it. Rama v'yesh oimrim. Some say shekoidim shemaschila musaf, that before they start musaf, machriz hashamash mashiv haruach. The shamash announces mashiv haruach. Some say before you start. So the Mechaber says you're not allowed to mention rain until the shel tzibur calls it out. V'yesham shekoidim shemaschilim musaf machriz hashamash mashiv haruach v'chulu kedei shatzibur yazkiru b'tfilasan v'chein noyagin. What is this yesh oimrim here? What do you mean yesh oimrim? That's what the Mechaber said. The Mechaber said it's asur to mazgar geshem until the shel tzibur calls it out. So what does the Rambam mean yesh oimrim? The Mishnah Berurah says the words yesh oimrim is a ta sofer. It's a ta sofer. We're learning Yeridea now, right? And we just had in the Shach where there was a question, why didn't the Ramah say yesh oimrim if he's explicitly arguing with the Mechaber? And the Shach said an amazing chidush, that even though he is explicitly arguing, but since theoretically you could have read the Mechaber that he's not arguing on the Ramah didn't say yesh oimrim even though it is a yesh oimrim. So the word yesh oimrim is a very specific title, it's a very specific terminology. It's a terminology to refer to a case where it's black and white that the Mechaber said one thing and the Ramah is saying something else. Okay. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sivkat and Daled, Asur lahaskir v'tzon alaymer, afilu at tzibur shemaspal and tfilas musaf. Even a tzibur that's davening musaf, asur and lahaskir geshem, it's asur to mention rain, im loy hichriz hashliach tzibur. If the shel tzibur did not call out, ay hashamish, or the shamish, koydem atfila, k'may shemafarish Ramah. Even a tzibur that davening musaf, it's asur for them to mention rain if the shel tzibur didn't call it out, or the chazan, or the gabbai before Shemana Esrei, like the Ramah explains. Likewise, if the chazan doesn't announce it or the gabbai doesn't announce it, the shel tzibur will not be able to start saying it only when he davens out loud. Oh, you ready for this? I have an imponderable over here. So in Nusach Ashkenaz, what does the shel tzibur do in Chazor Sashatz? He says Mashiach Hagashem. How? Well, again, we're going to see. Not Mashiach Hagashem, because that they announced before the davening, so everyone said Mashiach Hagashem. What do they do on the first day of Pesach? What does the Chazan do on the first day of Pesach? In a silent Shemana Esrei, he says Mashiach Hagashem, and in the Chazor Hashatz, in the Shatz, he will stop saying it. How is he allowed to stop saying it? Nobody announced it.
He's announcing it. He's saying it for this towel. Yeah, that's the Iker announcement. It's his tefillah when he's doing it.
Okay, but doesn't he need an announcement to stop saying it? So you say maybe you don't need an announcement to stop saying it?
No, either the chazan or the shabash announces. But he's for his towel, he's announcing it.
What's the reason why? Okay, so we'll have to see the reason. By the way, in the Mechaber, the Mechaber is saying you're not allowed to mention Geshem until the shel tzibur announces it. We're not yet up to the point where the announcement was made before davening. Nobody said, meaning we're not talking about here where somebody announced, say Mashiach Hagashem before the Shemana Esrei. So therefore, the Chazan cannot say in the silent Shemana Esrei. He could only say it in the tefillah b'kol ram. V'chein hashel tzibur gamken lo yaska rak mishmal b'kol ram avlo b'tefillah salachash kivan shloi huchos mikad matfila mikol makom b'di'even im amar echad b'kol ram b'toich tefillah morid hageshem. Let's say you have these guys, they've been waiting all year to say right, this is the moment, this guy's time to shine. He's not allowed to do that. Why? You can't make an unauthorized announcement. You can only make an announcement if you heard an announcement. Now, an unauthorized announcement gives license to the tzibor to say Mashur Chagashim. This itself is like a hachraza. Ken kasav achayadam. Venerally, the imloi zachru geshem betfilazu. It would seem to me that if you did not mention a rain in this tefillah, ein tzrichim lachzar, you don't have to go back. Meaning, let's say you heard a guy, shout out of a San Shemona essay, Mashur Hagashem, and you did not say it. You don't have to go back. The yesh poskim shesovim dehachraza le'mikri elam kein shehuchraz koydem atfilah. Some poskim hold that it's not called a hachraza unless it's called out before the tefillah. Or you heard from Mishal Tzibor the repetition of the tefillah that Geshem was made. The Chayadim only said that if somebody hears a random person shout out, that a listener is allowed to say Mashur Hagashem, not that you have to. These words in the Rama are a mistake. The explanation is Shekoidim shemaschilim nusav machres hashamish mashav haruach ayin b'chayadim she'izer shaloi lasos k'moshenogin shemachrizin rach mashav haruach. It's not okay just to announce mashav haruach shezoloi nikri hachraza. That would not even call that hachraza. Some places they say Mashiach the whole year. Ela Yisayim Umayid Hagashem. You have to end off Umayid Hagashem. And that's the minhag. Yeah, we'll hold it over here, Rabbi Say. We'll see everybody as a Hashem on Monday. What?